What's up, dog?
How's everything going in your life?
It's good. How you been?
Things are going well, actually.
Oh, good.
I can't complain. You know how you want to complain, but you can't? That's where I am.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I ran into them on the bus the other day.
Yeah, that was very happenstance. That's a good word. God damn. Happenstance. It's very happenstance. I picked that bus time just like 2 hours before.
I remember you saying, and you had like the same price as me.
Yeah.
I like buying them ahead of time to try to get them cheaper, but you were like, nope.
No, not the like Chinatown bus shit. Like you gotta buy it just whenever you can. I guess buy it so it doesn't sell out. But you don't get deals on that. Like they set that shit. Greyhound and like Peter Pan, I'm pretty sure. And like trains, you can get that like in advance price. But nah, like Chinatown bus is just completely fucking
$2.
Yeah, it's like this shit might break down. We're not giving you a deal. It's kind of crazy too, because I've had people say that shit broke down on them. I've had good experiences with it though.
Wait, you had your skateboard with you. You were specifically going back to skate. Is that right?
Yeah, I was. I mean, so in Philly, you know, the municipal building, like right across the street from Love Park.
Oh yeah.
So Love Park got demolished like 4 years ago, something like that. And then we used to skate at Love all the time. Then we moved across the street to the plaza at the municipal building, and then they tore that shit down. So, like, they're in the process of taking all the tiles out, everything, and we were just skating until it gets demolished entirely.
Like with the dominoes and shit, like the Parcheesi, the massive
Parcheesi
pieces of shit.
They took all of that shit
Are
out.
they getting rid of it? What's the point?
So they're gonna put the like pieces in a just like a fucking yard somewhere, like a junkyard or some shit.
That sucks.
It's just gonna sit there.
Damn, there were these huge statues in Philly that were like, I don't know, like board game pieces.
Yeah, it was like some sorry pieces. It was some dominoes. There was like some coins that I can't identify. Maybe like backgammon. I don't even know everything. Every game I don't understand. I just call it backgammon because I don't know what it is.
Who's the statue of? There's like a guy there with his hand out or something.
Oh, that was Frank Rizzo. You know,
I was gonna say, was
you talking about the one?
Was he canceled?
Yeah, they tore. I think they like spray painted and pulled it down.
Right.
During like the Black Lives Matter riots.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Well, I'm allowed to say riot. I guess you have to say protest. You know.
He was the first domino to fall. Now they're getting rid of the actual dominoes.
He was the first domino to fall, and
That's
now
right.
they're getting rid of all the actual dominoes.
the protesters like tearing down the Parcheesi pieces and stuff.
They were fucking like. Apparently,
they take down Rizzo and they're like, let's get rid of the rest of it. So what?
Apparently, like Rizzo destroyed the black community, right? Or
Can't do that.
The move bombing, yeah, that's what he did. He
did the move bombing?
I think he like signed something that was like,
Damn.
yeah, go ahead, do it.
Okay, I never did my research on Rizzo, clearly. But
yeah, he's an interesting character. He's like one of them dudes that like an old Italian guy, but he was the fucking best. He was smashing heads and all that, and then all the black people were like, oh my god, he was smashing heads. It's like two sides of the story.
That reminds me of like when all the Italian people in Philly like went to defend the Christopher Columbus statue during the George Floyd protests. Like people were gonna go tear down Columbus, and they were like there with like switchblades and like chains, and they were like, "You're not gonna tear down fucking Chrissy Columbus."
Yeah, that shit was crazy. It was just like, I don't know. They just were in the house bored and like, we get to shoot some niggas. So they got to the Target on like fucking Delaware Ave, and they were just on the roof with sniper rifles and shit, like
really
pointing at the parking lot. Yeah,
oh my
it was
God.
like they had like fucking guns protecting the Target.
Man, he's like the Korean supermarkets and like the LA riots. It's like they were defending their own supermarket, but like now you have like just like old Italian dudes from like South Philly coming up and going, "Don't steal T-shirts from Target, a major multinational corporation."
If anything,
so stupid.
Italians should probably be like protecting fucking Walmart, but Target isn't for Italians. Target is for like. All right, so let me break down the hierarchy. So Walmart is like Irish, Italians.
It's the oppressed white.
The oppressed whites.
Jews
Jews are an exception.
The formerly oppressed whites.
Formerly oppressed ones.
Yeah.
The ones that were slaves too. Those are the ones. Target is for like the English, the Jewish, the just Anglo-Saxons that were not oppressed, and like Swedish motherfuckers. You know, what do we call them? The Nordics. Yes. Whatever the fucks.
Yeah.
And yeah, Walmart's just for like Puerto Ricans, Irish, black people. Asians can kind of just do whatever they want. They found a way to just infiltrate all classes.
Don't you feel like there's like a whole I feel like people are always talking about like, oh, the Asian supermarket, and I'm like, I mean, I understand that that's a thing. I feel like they have a separate series of supermarkets that are
Asian supermarket.
like,
I feel like sometimes is a bad because there's like a Korean one, there's a Chinese one, there's a Japanese one. Like you get different shit at all of them. Right. So if you classify it as that, you realize like, oh, it's only Chinese shit in here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll have like, because I used to my best friend was a little Chinese girl when I was like 10 years old or something, and we used to go to Chinatown and we go to like Chinese supermarkets and shit. And I'm like, oh, this ain't just Asian shit, this is Chinese shit.
The one in Philly.
There was there's a couple. Yeah, Chinatown in Philly.
Okay,
yeah. I'm from Philly.
This is an underground one.
Yeah, you haven't introduced me at all. We just started going in this. Did we even say my name? Fuck my name. Who cares?
Oh no, yeah. Okay, so this is a. We were cooking.
You know me. I don't give a fuck about that.
This is Asante Morris. He's a very funny comedian and also a friend from Philly.
Hello.
Another Philly comedian.
Why did I do finger guns? God damn, we gotta edit that out. I did finger guns. I'm sorry,
fine.
people. That's fine.
You want to add because it's cringe? Is that the idea?
Yeah. I think like if anybody sees that, my pussy numbers is gonna drop. Finger guns.
Well, I don't think anybody that I don't know if anybody is gonna watch my podcast that would. Like, do you think that people are like?
I think people watching it trying to fuck you. I think a lot of pussy you got in the last 6 months is because of this podcast.
I doubt it. But the idea that like, so you're on like a second date or something, and they're like, oh, I really liked your appearance on Benny Feldman's podcast. Didn't really like when you did finger guns though. Yeah, so I think you're fine.
I was gonna pay for the date, but you did finger guns on Benny Feldman's podcast. Get the fuck out of here.
Fucking. Oh yeah. So I mean, both Philly people, but you're also in New York now as well.
Yeah, we moved up at the exact same time. This is weird. Yeah. This is the first time I've been. Are we allowed to disclose that this is your home?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. This is the first time I've been here. I think. This is the first time that Benny has invited me here. And we've both been here, like 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Like, I've skated from my crib like 10 minutes, like across the park. Now I'm here. It's the first time you invited me over.
Well,
what do you think about that?
Well, I invited you over sooner than you invited me over.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't catch that, but yeah. I mean, you definitely was always welcome. It's just you're just busy.
Hey, you too.
You're busy, dude. Yeah, I mean, we're both pretty busy.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Honestly, the podcast has been really convenient where it's like an excuse. It's like a work thing, but it's also like, I want to hang out with this person. Let me use the podcast as a mechanism to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sucks that we're in that like part of our lives where we have to make our interactions with our friends practical.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what it is.
Yes. I mean, I love playing video games, and I like I was doing like a Twitch stream, and I was like, I'm fine monetizing my friendships, but monetizing my gaming,
yeah,
that's too far.
We're disposable, but fucking Super Smash Brothers, that shit is sacred.
That's right.
That's the funny thing though, because like, were you telling me about this, or how you just want to play the game when you're Twitch streaming? You don't want to have to worry about the people.
Yeah,
I think I was talking to you about that. Where you're just like, I want to play this game. I want to get into it. I don't want to have to like interact with people.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to have to be riffing.
What games do you play?
Well, my favorite that I played recently with some friends was Valheim.
So you like actually play games? Because I don't know what that is. Oh, that's like an RPG or something.
It's like a Viking crafting survival kind of game. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds fun, but I don't know if I have friends that play games like that.
Oh, sure.
So I don't know if I'd be able to that's why I always fall out of games, because I end up playing it, and then everybody else. I mean, everybody I hang out with just fucking skates or does comedy. So.
Oh, true. Well, I think also your interests lead to finding that kind of person where it's like, I am interested in this stuff. I play them on my own. So then at parties, I mean, if somebody doesn't game, I'm not going to like beat them to death with gaming, but I'll be like, oh, do you game? And then if they say yes, then it's like we can go down that path. And then it's like but with you're probably talking about skating at parties. You know what I mean?
I try not to. I feel like I'm 25 and I feel like talking about, like, I can skate all I want, but I feel like going to parties and meeting new people, I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm a fucking skateboarder. That just seems pretty immature at this point. I've noticed that.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm not going up and be like, hey, I'm a gamer. You know what I mean? But if you're like, what do you do for fun? I'm like, gamer. I like playing games. You know what I mean?
I do want to get back into it. Like, you're one person that plays them. I know a couple other people that, like, on their free time do it. I just started playing Switch again. I'm trying to get back into this
Hell
shit.
yeah.
I'm
Zelda?
playing,
The new Zelda?
I'm playing Breath of the Wild.
Oh, sick.
I want to beat that. I never beat it. I looked at the timestamp. I haven't played this game in, like, a fucking year. Because I don't know. I just been stressing out or something, and I was just, like, put it away. Also, you know, I was playing PS4. I don't have a PS5. I'm broke. I have a PS4.
I don't have a PS5 either, yeah.
There's no reason to get it. It's like, I don't fucking, you know, I don't buy a new game every month. But if I did, I probably would. But Breath of the Wild is cool. I like the Nintendo shit.
Nintendo's great.
Yeah, it's just like childish. I like childish shit.
Well, the thing with it's like the other systems are like really going for graphics, but then the gameplay is like a lot of the same, like shoot a guy, pick up his stuff, shoot a guy. But like Nintendo is like really giving a shit about like making the gameplay interesting.
Yeah, it gets hard, and it's like, it's first of all, it's silly. I like silly shit.
Yes.
Have you seen the trailers for like the new Spider-Man that's coming out?
The movie?
No,
I
mean
the game.
The new game.
Oh yeah. The game.
So
looks good.
What is it, like Spider-Man 2 or 3? No, all right. So it's Spider-Man 1.
Switch back and forth between the two Spider-Man.
Right. Because the first one was Spider-Man, and then it was the Miles Morales like spin-off little like mini game, and then now it's the second one. But yeah, I remember playing that game, and then I was like into it, but at the that was a good one. I never heard that one. Really? It's always fun when you hear.
Sometimes that one's a triple. I'll go like ha. Then you go like
somebody spike you a ball.
Yeah. Or sometimes it's like ha at the end of it, like ha ha ha, and it's like Black Eyed Peas kind of.
Black Eyed Peas, like fucking Grandmaster Flash. Wait, what was? I don't know. Were you saying something? The new Spider-Man. It just looks like fucking. It just looks like it was repetitive after a while, and the new games looks like it's probably gonna be the same thing. Like you just beat up people that are trying to kill Spider-Man.
Right.
That's
basically it. One of my issues with like a superhero game sometimes is that they're just like, yeah, you're a superhero, so you're way overpowered compared to if there's like a regular dude, they're not gonna kill you. You're fucking Spider-Man. You know what I mean? They're just gonna go.
Yeah, also, I don't like superheroes that much because they be stopping bank robberies and shit. And it's like, who the fuck asked you to do that? Like, there's probably somebody getting murdered and you're stopping a bank robbery.
Yeah.
I just feel like money is not... If you're a superhero, you shouldn't be worried about money.
Yeah, or you should be... I would be robbing banks.
I mean...
That's not true.
I would... You're Jewish, so you already do that. But...
We can get into that if you like.
Yeah, I mean, I literally, I'm black. I would literally go in there with a note and then get caught on the way out. But, but if I was a superhero, I want to
dig into this Jewish thing. What's your point with that? Hold on now.
Oh, you don't rob the banks, you own them. That's the stereotype.
Yeah. That's definitely the stereotype. I was like, but hold on. Let me dig my feet into that.
Yeah, you're right. Good thing you caught that because that wasn't an accurate stereotype.
Well, I guess my thought with the Jews owning the banks and controlling money like that.
You know where that comes from, right?
Yeah, like Nazi Germany, and or like also the fact that the thing with hold on, 2-part idea. Jews were the only people that were allowed to do debt because Christians weren't allowed to. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then also like Nazi propaganda really hammered that and shoved a lot of those ideas.
That's why I think
we're on the same page. We're on the same page about it not being okay. But okay. Yes, Jews do own some banks, etc. But
and everybody else is jealous because they're like, why the fuck did we force them to do that? We should learn this ourselves. And now they're just like mad at you, like, fuck, y'all suck. Why y'all own everything? You made them do it. It's their fault.
Well, I think part of the thing is it's like the extremely rich. Most of them are not Jewish. And most Jews are not extremely rich. And so you get this weird thing where you point to specific groups where it's like landlords, Hollywood, and certain like elements of banking that are predominantly Jewish for different reasons. And it's like that ends up being the scapegoat by these other super rich people who are not Jewish. So like 95% of like billionaires... I actually don't know the percentage of billionaires, but like 95% of the extremely wealthy are not Jewish. You know what
Aren't they like fucking Arabs? You kind of get it from all sides.
My point is it's not race based.
Yeah.
It's an issue when people are like, yes, so Jews do own some of the banks, but it's like, Jeff Bezos is not Jewish, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, like a lot of the hyper wealthy people.
I don't
who
think.
are in charge
I
of all
think
the
even
money.
if they were, you shouldn't be ashamed of that shit. Because it's like if you running shit, how you gonna be apologetic about it?
Oh, I don't think it's good to. I think those people are still evil. I think there are evil Jews who are doing that stuff, but I think most Jews aren't evil. Is my point.
I mean, I
You know
don't.
what I mean?
I think there's. I don't think the argument is ever that. Well, at least not for me. I would never argue that most
Right,
Jews
I think-
are evil.
I think
That's
people-
pretty insane to stand on. It's like I know most Jews,
Right.
and they're all like that's crazy. But there's this book I read. It was by a white supremacist.
My struggle.
A step below. He didn't kill anybody yet,
Hmm.
I think. But it's this guy who's just like basically every chapter is just a new, like, racist rabbit hole. So he goes into like why white people are better than Jews, white people are better than black people. And the thing about the book is it's all like fucking obviously like it's bullshit, but the way he describes it, it's like if you were talking to this guy, you would have to be able to articulate why he's wrong. And like that's the shit that was scary about it. It's like this motherfucker is like a good writer. He really was. Like he's like
I know what you mean,
convincing
yeah.
if you're fucking, you know, if you're a fucking white dude from Delco.
That's
with
the trouble. They use like these sorts of like these flaw. If you know argument like structure, you can point out the flaws in them.
Yeah.
But it's like they're using these like tactics that are like kind of like tricky.
Yeah.
For sure.
and that's the problem, bro. Because
Totally.
like people like that will appeal to like a fucking poor little white motherfucker somewhere in like a trailer park. But you know, us like the liberals living in fucking Brooklyn, we'll just call them stupid and then wonder why they're not on our side.
Yeah. I mean, it's the relationship between the black community and the Jewish community is
It's
fascinating.
fucking strong, dude.
They
asked me to turn off their lights and shit around here. You been around the Hasidic Jews here? Or is it just
we're pretty close. Yeah,
pretty close. So
Yeah.
I'm like right
During the Sabbath, they're like, we can't do it, so you have to. Yeah.
And then
Do you
I
do
remember
it?
the first time. Yeah, of course. And the first time they asked me, I was like, I've heard about this. I should go check it out. And then I did it. And then I mean, they didn't give me any cookies or anything. I thought I would like get something, but yeah, it was fine.
Did you say something like, hey, this should be like a treat. There should be a little snack.
Nah, I mean they had me go down to like their basement where they had like 7 kids and like 2 bedrooms and shit, and it looked like a big family, like cousins hanging out thing. And then they had needed to go to sleep, and then I had to turn the lights off. The kids didn't want me to turn the lights off. They're like, we want to stay up and play. Those kids are gonna grow up to hate black people.
Probably, but
Yeah,
not
like,
for that reason.
Black people just come in your house, they fucking turn your lights off when you're having fun and shit with your cousins. But no, I think
I would say there's tension as well. I mean, like,
oh, of course.
yeah. I mean,
I can't think of a single group where like
That
2
doesn't have
groups that
tension.
doesn't have attention. Like we're people.
Let's try to think of 2 groups that don't. Okay, uncontacted Amazon tribes and everybody. Maybe not. No, I
I
they
mean,
probably have tension. From what I heard, they throw the spears
they'll
at
kill
the-
you if you come.
right.
I've seen
Good
only
point.
white people, like white missionaries, like Europeans, go to try to contact them. I'm pretty sure if I went there, they'd probably try to kill me too. Even though like I'm probably the same skin complexion. Like look at what I'm wearing. This shit just looks futuristic. They'd probably freak the fuck out.
I heard it does depend on like tribe, I suppose. Well, some of them they just truly like you're not allowed to. Like they also just haven't. But there's like that one island off the coast of India, I think, that's like known for like because like a white guy went there, killed a bunch of them, and then they were like, all right, white people are evil, and so
I didn't know that part.
anybody that lands there. I think it was like they used that island as the basis for the one in like King Kong or whatever.
You talking about Sentinel Island?
I think that might be the name of it. I don't know the name off the
I'm
top
pretty
of my
sure
head.
it's off the coast of India.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but
I
I
didn't
know
know that
I
they
know
killed
that it
them.
was like a white dude went there and just fucked shit up.
As they do. It's
Yeah.
just, what are you going to fucking be mad at him for killing people? He's white. This is what you got to do
Here's what
sometimes.
I did, yeah.
I'm going to sag my pants. He's going to kill people. The world's going to revolve.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, I don't know how we got into this whole
Race.
This just
We're
whole,
solving race.
I
We
mean,
got it.
like, if you know me, if you know me, it's only gonna take like 20 minutes to get into some racial shit with me. Like, if I don't know you like that, I'll leave it alone entirely.
Oh, sure.
But if
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
known you, as long as I've known you, we're gonna get right into the Jews versus blacks. How
Let's
do we
do
fix
it.
it? It's like,
Yeah.
all right. So first of all, we all gotta go into the park and we got to do a drum circle, like some shit like that.
What's it? Hold on. In my head, jump circle is stand in a circle and people are going to the middle breakdancing. Am I wrong about this? I don't know what a jump circle
A
is.
drum circle.
Drum circle. Gotcha.
Yeah, drum
I thought
circle.
you said
sorry.
jump circle.
Jump
I was like, what?
circle.
Like people like jumping and like go.
Jump circle sounds like something that remember they had those flash
I
mobs.
used to break dance.
You used to break dance?
I did actually. Yeah.
Can you do like what kind of upper body shit could you do right now? Can you do that thing?
No, I didn't go. I only I only did it for like 2 months, and I was like, "What the hell am I doing?" So I learned this like pin drop move, where I can I bust it out at parties sometimes, where I kick like the back of my leg. It looks like I fall, but then I like suddenly pop back up.
Oh, that one's cool as shit. I got to see that sometime. How long?
Bust it out.
How old were you? We did that.
High school. Yeah.
High school. So like,
and I can do a thing with I can spin on the floor, but not with on 2 hands or something.
Did you party in high school?
What's that?
Did you party in high school?
I did to some degree.
So you busting that shit out?
Not really.
Like,
no. Honestly, my high school. So the group was all Korean, and then me. It was like a couple of my Korean friends got into breakdancing, and then I just would hang out with them and do it. It was interesting because my college, a lot of the Asian students were Chinese, but my high school it was almost entirely Korean. So it's a weird
Where did you go to high school?
Wissahickon, outside of Philly.
Wissahickon.
Yeah.
I didn't see that's some shit that I didn't even know about. That there's just Korean high schools and fucking Wissahickon and shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's not predominantly it wasn't predominantly Korean, but the Asian population was.
Oh, so you just happened to be around the motherfuckers that breakdancing, but everybody was there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got into some weird, I had some weird phases when I was in high school. I remember my freshman year, I tried out every different, how in movies there's there's the fucking punk guys and here's the jocks. I was at every one of them lunch tables, trying to figure out which one I could piss off the most. I don't know. Because I hung out with the scene kids. Because I
really?
Yeah, I listening to that type of music. I kind of listen to a lot of shit. So I try to be able to relate to a lot. They didn't like me is what I'm getting at. They didn't like me at all. It wasn't because I'm black, because there was black people at the table. I just wasn't wearing the clothes they was wearing, and I was into it. I'm pretty sure they could tell it was a phase, and they're like, "This shit is for life. I got purple hair." I wasn't like that though.
I like your style currently, by the way. How would you describe it?
I don't know, bro. It's just I feel like it's just the way people dress right now. I want to be more unique, but honestly, I just dress.
Say, you're dressing differently from a lot of the people I hang out with. But I don't know.
Comics aren't into fashion that much, I guess. You hang out with mostly comics?
Yeah. Especially in New York. I think a lot of them are on purpose dressing schlubby. Do you know what I mean?
To be funny, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I do to some degrees. I kind of dress down, wear a sweater that's a solid color. But you've got you've got the gold earring and that's a cool vest and shit.
I guess it depends on your appeal that you're going for, maybe.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to be maybe just goofy or self-deprecating, you can't look too well put together,
right? Or
you can't be too in shape. I don't want to be all fucking in shape and muscular. That shit it's too much. I have to still be funny.
Yes,
being
totally.
too sexy is not funny. It really isn't.
Well, then how do you manage it? No. Just
that was good. That was a great compliment.
You're welcome. But something that's maybe just lowering your your account even lower if somebody watches this.
The Jew stuff?
No. I was gonna bring up the fact that you're also a comedy nerd.
Oh, I'm a nerd of.
I don't know if that.
See, the thing is, the reason why I dress the way I do is so people don't just smell nerd on me. Yeah, I am very much so a nerd about a lot of things. Yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we fucking relate. We talked about fucking
the Larry
video
Sanders
games
show.
Yeah, we talk about the Larry Sanders show. We'll talk about video games. We'll talk about a bunch of random shit, and it's always a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess it's refreshing when somebody is also a comedy nerd. You know what I mean?
Somebody cares about the craft they're trying to get into.
Exactly.
It does bother me a little bit sometimes. If it's a younger kid, I'm obviously just you'll learn. But if I'm talking to somebody where it's we've been doing this for the same amount of time, and I'm trying to explain things hey, you know how this guy created this concept or this variation of the craft, and you're like, what? I'm how are you not studying this shit? Do you want to get it? There is a way to get an F in comedy. There are grades. The grades are whether or not you make money off of it.
Whoa, I never thought about that.
Yeah, you're getting an F. Or you're just making money, but you're a hack and it'll dry up quickly.
Is that? What about being funny? Is that not the A? What if you're let's say you're making some money, but you're hilarious. That should be an A. You know what I mean?
That I think if you're funny and making some money, it may either be that you didn't like catch on yet, which
Right.
is fucking everybody,
Mhm.
and or you're not applying yourself possibly, which is that was me in school.
That's just me. That's just me being defensive. Like, wait, I'm funny, but I'm getting no money.
I mean, but the thing is, like,
What, I got a D? I do. Yeah.
I don't know how many people out here are true diehard Benny Feldman fans. I would consider myself one, but from where
Asante
I've
fan.
seen us, we started in the same place. I don't know if you see yourself as like here, whereas I'm like here, but I'm like I've watched you surpass a lot of people, and that shit's been interesting to watch, and it really hasn't been from anything other than I think just you doing your thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess also I do find the like, quote unquote hierarchy interesting, but it also grosses me out. But also, I mean, I guess the thing is, it's like it's nebulous, but also like I guess I've seen so many people shift on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I'm like, I think some people treat people as where they are on the hierarchy or whatever also. And it's like, no, that guy's gonna go up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know you're hilarious. I know you're paying attention to comedy and
Thank
stuff. And so if I was to like, you know, if I'm like, oh, now I've got these credits or whatever.
Yeah.
And Asante, I don't know what credits you have necessarily. But if
None.
I were to like, you know what I mean? If I were to be like,
None.
yeah, and here's the, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, I know
you will
exactly
have
what you
credits. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's like, the hierarchy is so transient in this way that's like, well, obviously it's about being funny and kind instead, but you know what I mean?
It doesn't sound that difficult when you say it, but for some reason, especially in this city,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you've been on fucking whatever TV show. You're still a shitty person.
Yes.
Like, I feel like
Yeah.
your priorities should be who's a good person. That's how I move. Like, I interact with everybody the same way, where it's like, if you're somebody that's just starting out, I'm not going to treat you like that, because I mean, maybe in 30 years when I'm an older guy, I want to have patience for like 21-year-olds like that, but
Yeah.
or I'm 25. Who the fuck do I think I am? But like, you know, like 18-year-olds, they starting it out. I'll be like, yeah, this is cool, man. Stick with it. I'll be nice to everybody. People that are above me, like,
Totally.
I don't suck their dicks. I'm like, oh, you're amazing. but I'll treat them with respect.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Treating other people with respect.
I mean, sometimes I be disrespectful
podcast.
as fuck sometimes. I usually do it because I think I'm being funny, and then somebody has to check me, you know, and I'm like, all right, I'm sorry, bro. But in general, when it's like there's no jokes going on, we're all just sitting in a room being people, I'm going to respect you. Hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You feel
for
that
sure.
way.
And part of it too is like I've been at the starting position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, people who had credits or were, you know, they were like rude to me, and I'm like, well, okay, mental note, don't do that.
Yeah, everybody has a story. Like, everybody has a name drop where they can be like, this guy that I thought was cool and I like would watch him. He turned out to be an asshole. But
Yeah, totally.
yeah, you gotta expect that stuff, I guess, at this point. That's everything though. Like I told you, I fucking started skating when I was like 11, and I didn't really move around that much in the industry. Like, I didn't really see a lot, but I saw New York and Philly and like the East Coast stuff, and I could see like the kids that were like clearly better than everybody else in skating, or like were clearly gonna be somebody. They would be, you know, they'd get a big head about it, and it's like, you understand when that we're playing with wood toys, right? Like, this is meaningless. Same thing with comedy. It's like, it is a great thing, but we're not fucking George Carlin.
Well,
We're not
I'm literally on
philosophers.
stage. Yeah, it's literally being like, I eat the pussy poorly.
Yeah,
I'll be in the pussy like, what? You know, it's like, and then it's like, yeah, I told that joke on TV. It's like, what, your joke about going like,
yeah, just be kind.
like,
man.
yeah.
Just
But
be
then, I
kind
like
to
the
people.
skateboard. Are you Is there like, what's the skateboarding scene world? Is there like I didn't even consider the idea that there's an industry element to that. I thought that was truly purely people kind of hanging out.
These
but I
days,
suppose there is
big
like
industry element. I mean, it's in the Olympics now, so you might be training for the Olympics right now if you're at a certain echelon. Like, one of
damn.
them child prodigies that just did it since they were like 6 years old, and now they're like 25, and they're amazing. Like, they might be representing America in the Olympics and shit.
Damn. Okay, so you go to a skate park. What are the chances that people there are like professional or something? Is there like a high?
Pretty low.
Pretty low.
Like
Okay.
most of the time you go, it's just everybody. It is just hanging out. That's the thing. It's like it's the same as this. Like you just hanging out, and then I guess sometimes people take it more seriously than others, or they have more natural talent, and it just goes up. But it's definitely not like a. That's why I feel like that's the closest, like industry or whatever, or like form of entertainment to this, like comedy. Because NBA, there's fucking leagues. Like all the actual sports, there's leagues. So there's very clear paths to success. But comedy is just like you could be whatever.
Something I love is how people will have a secondary thing that they do or like my friend Michael Aber likes theater. You like skateboarding. I like, I don't know, gaming or whatever. And it's like people they'll be like, oh, this part of comedy is like in Zelda when I have to, you know what I mean? Or like they'll bring the other thing to comedy.
Well, we all got that same brain,
I mean?
like that brain that like comics have a specific pattern-seeking brain, other than because all humans, we look at 3 things that are the same color and we go, oh, those are all the same thing. Like I see this yellow mirror and this yellow bucket, and my brain just associates them together.
Yeah,
but the way we do
correct.
it is like,
yeah,
the metaphors will be like way deeper.
Mm-hmm.
You could just like see it in like the jokes that you write, and shit. It's just like the metaphors will be just ingrained.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I don't know, it's kind of neat, and I'm kind of like, oh, it's cool to hear your like that you are looking at skateboarding as being so intertwined with comedy.
Yeah, I used to shy away from it because like when I started comedy, I was like, I want everybody to know that I'm just here doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't want people thinking like, because I started when I was like, how old were you started when you started?
19 for comedy, 21 for stand up.
Okay, so we're same fucking path.
Mm-hmm.
I started at that age, and I didn't graduate school yet. I was about to graduate school, I think, when I started, or some shit like that. So I was like, all right, I'm doing this, but I want to do comedy, and I want everybody to know like I'm serious about this shit. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna put all that skateboard shit over there. And then I moved here, and I'm like, fuck this, man. I just want to have fun. Just like I want to fucking hang out.
So you said you started at 19 or 21?
Like 19, 20. I think it was 20.
Okay, gotcha. I'm 29 currently.
Oh
so,
yeah, damn. I keep forgetting you're like a few years older.
So you got 4 years to catch up.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I do see that like you're actually. I feel like you're kind of ahead of like where I was when I was 25. I was still in Philly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's funny. Pandemic. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I'd still be in Philly. I'd probably I'd be living a whole different life, like mentally. Like I've been taking mushrooms and shit, and like developing fucking like new habits, and trying to like just a bunch of different shit since I moved here and decided to shift my life into that direction.
What are you trying to do? Like I guess in general, but also comedy specifically. Like what are your goals?
See, I've been racking my brain about that ever since I moved here, and then I just decided, like, let me just be good at this one thing. Like, let me just be good at stand-up. And then everything else, like, once I feel like I'm maybe good enough in my own mind, then I'll start focusing on other things. Like, I'm writing other things. Like, I'm always doing other things, but, like, my main thing is I want to be good stand-up, because that was always the goal when I was fucking in the dorm room. Like, I want to do this and I want to be really good at it, or whatever the fuck. So that's gonna take like 30 years to be that guy.
You made me laugh the first time I ever saw you, by the way.
I think what that was.
My best guess was I think we did a Milk Boy show together. I think Alex Grubard's Milk Boy show.
I remember those.
We were booked on like the same lineup. Yeah,
those were good times.
Yeah. And
those
you
were
were,
good shows.
I had never seen you before. I don't think. And then I was like, this guy is funny. Yeah.
I wish I remember what I said back then, because I was saying some like heinous shit back then. Like it was very immature.
Not that I recall, but also possibly. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully it was just funny. But yeah, I feel like you've always kind of had the same effect. I feel like on everybody, because you really isn't anybody doing what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
Tourette's or no Tourette's, like you still got this weird thing that other people. I feel like if anybody else were to do it, it'd be clear that they're copying you, and that's the cool thing to have when it's like you can put your stamp on a little style and like that's mine. if you do that.
I appreciate that. That's very kind of you.
That's where everybody really is aiming in this game we have. Just individuality.
Do you feel like you're hitting that? Do you feel like
I'm approaching it. I'm encroaching upon
it. And that's what you're saying. It's like once you feel like you've got the Asante stamp, it'll be like then you'll have your stand up where you want it, and then it'll flow from there. I feel like you have that from what I've seen, but once it fits your own merit and judgment, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I still gotta take a step back and think like I'm 25. Like that's young in this. I feel like
only in this though. It's old for life. You're gonna die soon, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What the fuck? Especially in like, if you're an athlete and you're 25, you try to make it, get a job at T-Mobile. That's not happening. If you're a fucking skateboarder, you're fucking washed up at 24.
Really?
Yeah, it's just like your knees don't work the way they did when they were 18.
Oh damn!
And if you didn't make it at this point, then you're not making it. Essentially, fucking.
I think comedy you're supposed to make it at 32. I think that's true. I think 32 is when you're supposed to have your first special.
I don't know if I feel like that's right because I know 40. Yeah. If you're 40 and you're like, I'm doing a 10 minutes for Comedy Central, niggas gonna be like, what? 10 minutes? You 40? The fuck? Did you just start?
I think it's fine to be. I see what you're saying. I think it's fine to be later, but I think if you do it too early, like if you're like 23 and you have like a special, it's not going to be good. That's way too soon.
Eddie Murphy is the only person that could pull off a good special at that age.
How old was he with his first special?
I think he was about 22, 23.
Get the hell out of here. Raw?
Delirious?
Really?
Delirious was first, right?
He's fucking...
Red Suit is which one?
I think Red Suit is Delirious. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was like 20-something.
What?
22.
Damn, I got to rewatch that with just the lens of how old he is.
And that's the thing, like, he was talking about very immature shit, but he just had that, like, ferocity on stage to where he just looked like a seasoned veteran up there. And it was the 80s and motherfuckers was on cocaine going crazy and everybody was fucking and give each other AIDS. Like, it was just such a special time that we can't replicate.
Yeah, true. Yeah, the energy was different. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I heard he's coming back.
I would hope so, because like his brain doesn't really, like, if you look at the shit he was saying back then, none of that shit translates. And he will tell you that himself. He was like, I was a young kid, I was misogynistic.
Oh yeah, a lot of it's homophobic.
Yeah,
like,
homophobic
but the thing is, it's like, I think he knows that, and I kind of want to see him address it.
Yeah,
he says some slurs in the second one where he got some.
You talking about the F word?
Yeah,
yeah, he dropped it.
Yeah, boom, boom. Yeah. About them looking at his ass, and it's like, I'm like, I would love to see him, because I don't think that he's that guy anymore. But I would love to see him. I don't know. He doesn't even have to address it. I think it's clear that he's changed. But
I think he would address that person that he was that thought that was cool. But I don't think he would be like, hey, I know I said something. That just seems like too much of a apology. When I don't watch stand up for apologies. I watch it to see somebody, make something funny.
The apology special is like the general concept of the apology special.
I know somebody's done. Who? Give me an example.
Aziz. Yeah,
Aziz. He did. Oh yeah, he did an apology. Wasn't it black and white?
I think so.
Fucking dweeb. A black and white apology special. It was actually pretty. It wasn't bad though.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't bad. I thought the apology part itself could have been a lot better, or he didn't address it well. But I thought I don't know. I thought the special was fine. They're good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I was funny, like, And I don't know. I guess I shouldn't. I don't really want to address that topic.
We don't have to weigh in on that. I also
not even a little bit.
Yeah, I don't entirely know what.
Let me just ruin my career before it starts.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking Aziz. I don't even think I liked him that much until that came out, like the special.
You liked him because that's funny.
I mean,
he was a very different energy in the previous ones. That's an energy. I mean, not that John Mulaney's was it was maybe a type of apology one, this recent one, but it was a clear energy shift.
That one,
which
that was crazy. That one, I was like, yo, he's the man. Because before, when he was like appealing to teenage girls and like his jokes were like real silly, and I liked it. Oh yeah. But I was like, I'm not a teenage girl. Where's the real shit? And then he came with the cocaine stories. I was like, oh my god, this guy's. he's an adult.
You get to see the behind the curtain.
Yeah, like this is like Richard Pryor shit. Like you fucking doing cocaine and beating up women and like doing awful shit and then trying to address it on stage. Like that's the type of energy I want to see. I want to see like a fucked up person. I like fucked up people. Yeah,
I like fucked up people if they address it and fix it.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't bring up.
There's some people who I'm like, what's what?
No, go ahead. No, I was cutting you
Well,
off.
totally. There's some people who it's like, oh, they're fucked up, and that's part of the brand, and they're not changing, and it's like that's an issue.
Yeah, like Chris D'Elia.
Yeah, Chris D'Elia.
Just
yeah.
That's just honestly insane.
That he's even like still a person performing.
It really is. It always is like so insane to me to see honestly anybody that's attracted to children, but especially somebody with money, and it's like, is money really not buy you happiness? Do you really need like a teenager? Like what the fuck? You can't just live like.
That's such a funny take. I never even thought of it from that angle. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's just like even if you're a super pedophile and you can't sleep at night without thinking about children, just bottle up. You're rich. Just don't do it.
Can't you like afford better therapy?
Yeah, like, just like get a fucking
hypertherapy or something.
Get like a dog collar.
That shock you every time
brain.
you look at a child or something.
Yeah, what the fuck? He's rich. But I do like the idea of how do people atone for their crimes, assuming they're not serious enough. Something like that. Just fucking chop his head off.
Right.
But I mean, really, what else do you do?
Yeah, like 500.
Cut his dick off.
I don't know. I haven't watched those documentaries, but what I've heard is it's like many people. Jesus, like it's like a lot of people who are underage and yeah. So allegedly, but also a lot of allegedly.
The Benny Feldman podcast does not endorse any of the messages I'm about to say, but fuck allegedly, he was out there diddling kids, chop his head and his dick off. But yeah,
I might. I'm trying to. I don't know if
you could cut that out.
Well, the part of it is like I might have to because it's a call to violence, and I can't like YouTube will catch that.
Oh,
yeah.
Metaphorically.
That former part just now we meant metaphorically.
Yeah, I just meant like castrate the society that could create a man like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. But for the people that committed lesser crimes, like say like a Aziz or somebody, like. How do you really atone? I feel like an apology special isn't really atonement. He probably did what he had to do to like fix that. But like, what is that?
This one was strange.
It's very strange. It was it was strange. I don't want to go into it.
No,
too
totally.
I guess like, how does somebody fix that?
Yeah.
Does society let you back in for any reason?
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard, especially like, Well,
like Michael Vick. Like had the dog fighting, right, and it's like since then has done a lot of like charity work with like dog fighting, like against it, I guess. Though I guess I'm speaking out of line because I don't know anything about him or his image or what that's done, but I think that's a direction to go at least.
Yeah, that's like when are you gonna at least? You don't have to like him after doing that, but when do you at least accept that he's allowed to? Make money or that he's actually trying, because currently I feel like the atmosphere.
We're just talking about cancel culture. What the fuck?
Are we talking about cancel culture?
Yeah,
I'm talking about like how to be a young man in a society and make an honest mistake, not fuck somebody over. I'm talking about make an honest mistake. Like, what does a young man in society do to fix that? That's all. I'm not even suggesting a solution. We don't even know.
Yeah, absolutely. But I guess, and I guess kind of what our point is that doing a stand-up special as an apology
is bullshit.
Is weird.
It's weird.
It's like, I don't know.
Damn, we did just talk about cancel culture.
We did, though.
What kind of fucking asshole am I turning into?
I think we kind of, it's definitely a trope of podcast talking about cancel culture. But we kind of were going from the angle of like, doing a special as an apology specifically is like a weird thing.
I don't think there's any way to talk a way out of this. We are on a podcast talking about cancel culture. And we deserve 1,000 Dr. Umar lashes just for even bringing that shit up.
I guess okay, not apology based, but the general idea of a shift in energy from a comedian I think is really interesting. Like even like George Carlin, who went from forgetting these guys, but going like just like for whatever reason. Like George Carlin went from like clean cut to like hippie counterculture. You know what I mean? I think that's really interesting.
And it was cool, like reading about that, because apparently that's who he was the whole time. He just didn't let it out. You know, like he was out there getting arrested with Lenny Bruce.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, like what, like
Lenny
60s
Bruce
or something.
Die young? Is that what happened?
Heroin, I'm pretty sure.
Gotcha. Okay.
A lot of my favorite people did heroin and smoke crack. It's like, what the fuck?
I mean, Mitch Hedberg, like, you know,
yeah,
would have been, fascinating to see him now, of course.
Yeah, an old brain, an old version of his brain would have been cool.
Oh yeah, we could have gotten years and years worth of, that, truly tragic to not get, imagine Mitch Hedberg joke about like ice.
The same thing with music too. Like a lot of people that inadvertently or purposefully took their own lives young or were killed young. Like people, I'm not talking about like what would it sound like if Tupac did a collab with Drake. Like fuck that. I'm talking about like people that were trying to make music to like soothe the souls of people that are like them. Like how would that shit turn out? Would they keep doing it? Is there like something that prevents people that are that broken from even reaching a certain age? You know what I mean? Like Mac Miller and like fucking that's probably the most recent one I can think of.
How old was he? Was he 27?
Pretty sure he was 27 club. You made it out, so you could die and nobody's gonna care.
I'm good.
I'm the only one that's gonna care. That 27 club shit does suck though, because like imagine like you're 29. Imagine like when you turn 30.
February.
All right. Well, imagine like before February, you just somehow like write the greatest television show that ever created, the next Seinfeld, but you die before you're 29. And then people are like, he's 29. I guess we can't care too much. He made it out to 27. That's stupid.
Maybe in the long run, like maybe if enough other 29-year-olds started dying, they'd be like, oh, there's also a 29 club, but specifically for like comedians or something.
It's just fucked up for anybody to die young, I guess. But see, I'll be getting into death too. But how long are we doing this shit? Like fucking not even an hour, and I'm already talking about existence. It's just too much.
Yeah,
let's talk about
a lot of comedians.
Again.
It seems like a lot of comedians, their career shift is they existed and then suddenly they stopped existing. They die. Sorry.
No, yeah, you're right. Like once you once you die, if you like an artist of any kind, your art then takes a life of its own, and people are allowed to interpret it in ways that you might not even intend because they can't ask you.
And you're not allowed to say anything. You can't go, that's not what I meant.
You can't just haunt somebody and be like, that song wasn't about that. Like, you're just dead.
That's thematically dissimilar to the idea. I meant more of a thing about unity as opposed to...
It was a very literal translation. There was no metaphor there.
I was actually watching this thing about... I haven't seen the show Lost, but it seems like a popular idea was that it was like that they were in like purgatory the whole time or something. But like the show creators apparently have like repeatedly said like no. Like it was like a weird island, weird shit happening, but it wasn't like purgatory. And so it's interesting that like, if they had died and everybody like just agreed that it was purgatory, you know what I mean? Yeah,
that like changes the entire, because then you could have like a whole book and that's taught in a college class that's like why Lost is a fucking allegory to purgatory or something, but they're dead. They can't say no. But there's a whole college class dedicated to teaching some wrong shit.
Yes, yeah. I think there was some like actual thing like that was taught like this is an allegory to this, and then I think the author was like reached out to the college and was like, no, I don't remember what it was, but
I don't like all that. I don't like all that like overly poetic and like metaphorical stuff. That's what always got me in those literature classes when I would like write a report and I'm like, this is about that, and they're like, actually no it's not. I'm like, how the fuck do you know? Just because you went to school? Fucking asshole.
Just because you're like older.
You're older.
I don't trust. Are you? I assume you're also anti-authority. Checking your. What are you checking for?
I'm sure one day I'll be like a conservative and against abortion when I'm like 40. Oh.
Well, that's not anti-authority.
I'll just get old and just be like, you know what? Segregation again. You know how people get conservative when they're old?
Oh, yeah.
I'm scared of that.
Do you think anti-authority is conservative? Is that the
No, I think being authoritative or at least respecting authority is conservative.
Oh yeah.
And as people get older, they start to like walk back a lot of their ideas.
Yes, yeah,
I don't want to be that person.
I was confused for yeah, that makes sense. Same.
I don't know. I don't want to name drop anybody, but you've noticed people who over time, in comedy or otherwise, that you're just like, what the fuck are they saying now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that for sure.
It's just like, having kids, is that what does it?
Mhm.
Because right now I'm like, fuck the police, burn shit down if you have to. Like, there was a convenience store, I think it was like Alabama or some shit. There was a kid accused of stealing like a water bottle or something, and he walks out the store, didn't steal anything, but the owner shot him in the back and killed him. This is an Asian guy in like Alabama or some shit, like some southern town, and it mirrors like something that happened during the L.A. riots with like a Korean store owner or some shit like that, and yeah, I don't even know how to handle that. Or like white people killing black people, but my response is always like, yeah, just burn some shit down if you have to. But
Right.
one day I'm gonna be like, hey, let's not burn shit down. Is that gonna be because I'm older, or is that gonna be because I have more answers?
I think the kids is a fair point also though too. I don't think it's more answers. I think kids is like people are like, we need the system to be stable for our children, so we can't support like big change if it shakes things up too much. But I guess I saw a thing. It's like you get conservative when you're older. Until now, this is the first generation that is getting older and maintaining our beliefs because the system has like fucked up some. Like we're like seeing through it for like the first time in like a big way or something, or like
Sounds right.
Yeah.
I would say like 9/11 was a big one because I mean this has been probably of all eternity. If you want people to shut up and stop questioning your authority, just make them fucking terrified of something. Just terrify them completely. They did that during 9/11. A lot of the country supported killing innocent Arab people for no fucking reason. Even like the most reasonable person was like, let's go kill them all. For what reason? And then people were like, damn, that's stupid. The government doesn't have the answers. So maybe it was 9/11. COVID showed that shit where like nobody could agree on anything for a whole 2 years. Not one. I don't think we agreed on shit for 2 years.
Right.
Except that we're gonna stay in the house, I guess.
What do you think? Like I feel like the nation obviously the nation's very divided. When did that happen? I mean, I guess over time. I don't know. But don't answer that question. That feels like another trope.
No, that's a funny.
podcast.
That's a funny thing because like people are like the nation's so divided. It's like who the fuck said that a nation's supposed to be united? So like I was thinking about that. Like fucking drugs. There was a war on drugs. There's currently laws against drugs. If you're out selling drugs, you go to jail right now today. Who the fuck said that there shouldn't be drugs? Like they're like, oh, there's people on the streets. They're laying out from heroin. Who said that people shouldn't be doing heroin and just laying on a corner right there? Like that's who's to say that that's not how society should be, or just that we could eradicate that entirely at some point.
Right.
I don't think we can. I think we always, as long as we got opium, motherfuckers gonna use it and turn it into other shit.
I did have that thought of like, I was walking around Philly in Fishtown, and I was like, Northern Liberties, and I saw some people who were clearly on heroin, and I was like, from like the sober eye, like it looks like those people are in like a sort of like squalor mess, like in a way, like the way they're like shagging like on the floor and stuff. But then I was like, from their perspective, they're having like the time of their life.
Yeah, they're just like, you guys are worried about soap? What the fuck? Who cares? Nigga, I'm high as shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I think over time it becomes really bad.
Yeah.
Like I think.
Obviously they die and like fuck over their family. But
Right.
Right. Imagine
But
you're an insomniac and you could just take a nap anywhere. You just
right.
Anyway.
Yeah. I guess the point is I'm not I'm not supporting long-term heroin use and they're going down that path, but I'm agreeing with what you're saying where it's like it's weird that it is so shame. Like I agree with legalization, but also like support and help centers. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I just think that the problem. Well, we're getting directly into drugs. I forget what we were talking about before, but my stance on drugs is like
we were talking about comedians changing their careers over time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This shit ain't even funny no more. This shit just deep.
We're just getting,
But nah, nigga, fuck that shit. Like, if people want to do drugs, it's not our job to remove the drugs. It's our job to figure out why they want to escape reality and then make reality better.
Yeah, to help the people as well. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we not gonna do that though. That's all. I don't even want to do that shit. You know how many taxes? How much I pay in taxes right now? A lot. I don't want to do all that. Just give me a missile. Just keep getting some missiles. Missiles are cool as fuck. Better than healthcare.
Yeah, if my taxes are going to missiles, let me have one.
That's what I was saying. Like, I can't even touch it.
I can't. Give me one of the nuclear codes. Give me one of the numbers.
Yeah, just like everybody. They just make like a 6 billion digit number. All of us get one. You know how important that would feel? I was like, damn, I got one of the numbers I could blow up North Korea.
It's like some Captain America. Like this is a joke I had previously. It's like give each of the 50 states like a ring or whatever. Mm-hmm. Someone Captain Planet, you need like the rings. But it's like to do the nuclear code. Yeah, you have to have everybody in the country come together and like hold up their number or whatever. I'm agreeing. I'm just expanding on your riff.
Much power.
Yeah,
you can't have much power. That's funny. 50 states each get a
ring
like
of power,
a ring or something. And and then we could fucking bomb North Korea if we all agree on it.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck North Korea. Can I say that on here? No, that's not a call to violence. This is. I'm sorry to his.
Kim Jong Un's the listener.
North Korean fan base. I'm sorry, Dennis Rodman. I'm sorry too. I know that shit, man. But
I saw a thing. It's like all the current systems are invested in North Korea, like existing as it is currently. Because if it collapsed, that'd be a nightmare. Like to rebuild from the world could not handle North Korea collapsing currently. Just from like a refugee and amount of aid and effort it would take. So they're like invested in it not collapsing.
That's funny. I never thought about it like that, but that's how we do to Mexico. We let them cartels run amok because as long as Mexico's poor, then we get to take what they want from we want from them.
This is a geopolitical podcast.
This is some geopolitical shit. I'm not on here to talk about frogs, Betty Feldman. Yeah, I mean, this is like, you got me some lemonade, you got me relaxed. I'm like, shit, man. This is a fucking teapot right here. This is relaxing shit.
We're almost at an hour. I'll do the second hours for Patreon.
Oh, shit. I'm supposed to clock out of work, nigga. I didn't even clock out of work.
Yeah, I'm going to let Asante clock out of work live on the podcast.
Is this a first? This got to be a first.
This got to be a first.
I'll tell them to quit my hours.
You have an app? Is that what happens?
I mean, I don't got nothing. If anybody at work is watching, don't do what I'm doing. That's the crazy thing is like, I don't even like telling people what I do because you're not supposed to like be able to have an outside life if you have a corporate job or something. You're supposed to just do that and then like spank your kids, give them some food, go to sleep, and then do it the next day.
I was thinking about that because if a job finds out you do the comedy, they're like, oh, is that going to take away from? It's like, shut the fuck up.
I've never even told my job. There might be some people that are like, wow, go chase your dreams. Anything you need from us, we got you. But I'm not going to take the risk. I don't care.
Right. Then they want to like see your material and it's like inappropriate or something. Well, I was going to ask. I
don't have any material that's appropriate.
So funny that he's clocking out. I'm like kind of watching the process. He's clicking a lot of stuff.
Hopefully, anybody watch me type my password in?
They can't see it. Let's see. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, for the live app, this is the YouTube one. I mean, do you have any plugs?
Any plugs? God damn it! I don't really have. When's this gonna come out?
In like a few days.
Yeah. I don't really have anything coming in the next few days. As you may know, I'm co-hosting the We Want More podcast with Anthony Moore.
Shout out Anthony Moore. By
the way. Shout out him.
Yeah, really funny guy.
Yeah, cool podcast. I've been trying to get this thing started. It's been a good process doing that. I'm just trying to learn like the whole podcasting game. Like he basically got all the equipment and was like, "Hey, do this with me." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll do this shit." I didn't have to invest any money in it. It's just time, which is I feel like time is more important than money. But let's not compare. All right, let's not compare our sacrifices. But it's good. Yeah, you should probably do it sometime.
Well, I would love to.
Or bring him on this one. Like I usually vibe pretty well. Like same shit with me and you. Like me and him will just fucking It'll just go. It'll just click.
Talk about race.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I don't really talk about race with that much, do I? No, I do. I talk about race with all the black people.
Yeah, I talk about race with everybody. I bring it up every time.
Okay,
that's not
good.
true. This is a very racial podcast.
I mean, if you have me on, it's gonna come up. And
if I have somebody on who is a person of color, I'm not going like,
well, I did.
Hey, what's
I
that
did
like?
go straight
You know what
into
I mean?
like the Jewish shit though. It's like I didn't
But
start talking about race. The race conversation didn't start where I was like, black people, we need to. I just started talking shit about Jews, and then you're like, hold the fuck up.
A friend of mine was telling me like, she like did an interview one time, and like the first thing was like, what's it like being a woman in comedy? And she's like, just ask me about me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that stuck with me as like a, I'm not gonna be like. I did it to Kyle Harris as a joke. I was like, as a black man in comedy, why'd you play lacrosse in high school? But other than, I'm not like,
No, but like that's the thing. Like, I think we're getting too invested in identity politics these days, and I think the most interesting about you is your dick size, not your race.
That's right, folks.
If you're gonna do a joke on stage, make sure it's about the length and girth of your member. Not your member of your race. I don't know. That wasn't good. Cut that out.
Folks, we go to part 2, where we're going to discuss penises at length and length of penis.
I wouldn't have talked about penises if you didn't have that penisaurus sculpture.
Oh, yeah. For longtime fans of the podcast will know that there's a 3D printed penis dinosaur that I only will ever show on the Patreon because it will get the YouTube demonetized. But so anyway, hey, if you want to see the penis monster, I should show it every episode. That's just this is like a good way to get.
This is like at the end. If you cover up the tip, does YouTube have like an algorithm that, like,
if I were to blur it, maybe they. But yeah, no, I can't show it at the because like they have an algorithm for sure. They can see nudity.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've seen some wild shit on YouTube. I saw like a I don't even remember where this. I hope this wasn't just a fever dream that I made up. But I don't know where I saw this. I don't even want to talk about it. But I saw it, and I feel like the world needs to know that it exists. It was a video. Where it was like a gay, like married couple, and they're like, "All right, so here's my husband trying to see if he can distinguish between my real human penis and a dildo." And then there's like a curtain, and he steps behind him, and you don't see anything. But I'm like, holy shit, this is YouTube. Like, how the fuck is this on there? You can get some crazy shit on there.
You get some crazy shit on YouTube. A lot of the ASMR stuff is kind of smutty, and I'm into that, folks. But I try to watch it in an incognito tab. It's like, you got to sign in, show that you're over 18. I'm like, the whole reason I'm on an incognito tab is because I don't want people to know I'm watching this.
ASMR, that's like when they eat like the crabs in front of the microphone, right?
No. There's kind of a combination of ideas. ASMR is the stuff where like they do different things to the microphone to like give you like head tingle sensation. It doesn't not necessarily like
head
eating
tingle
crab.
sensation. Like
not necessarily like crabs. It's like quiet noise and stuff. Anyway, some of it is sexual in nature. But anyway, folks, go to the Patreon. It's only $4 a month for the low price of $4. Help buy me a third of a sandwich, and you get to see every episode with every guest so far has a part 2. Check it out.
So we're gonna do the Patreon part now.
That's correct. That's right.
Nice. I'm gonna really start talking. See, I should have saved a lot of that stuff for later. But go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. Also, I'm coming to Chicago, July 5th. I'll be at the Zanies. Bye. We'll go to part 2.